dear friends. Welcome to the USG Alumni Talks. My name is Dania. I work for the American Center Tashkent, and I'm very pleased to introduce our guest, Dr. Beruniy Alimov. Hello, Dr. Alimov. Welcome to our session today, and thank you so much for being our speaker.
Hello, Dania. Hello, friends. I'm very glad to be here. And frankly speaking, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Let me introduce you to our audience. Dr. Beruniy Alimov graduated from the journalism department at the National University of Uzbekistan. He received a PhD in 2018 with a dissertation on problems of Uzbekistan's image in the international media. He is an assistant professor at the International Journalism Faculty of Uzbek State World Languages University. Also recently joined Webster University in Tashkent as an adjunct assistant professor, participated in Central Asia Journalism in Residence program in Texas. In 1996, he joined the news agency Jahan, where he was an international correspondent in London, Tokyo, and later in Moscow. He also has a blog, beruniyAlimov.uz, and is active on Facebook with 5,000 friends. And today, Dr. Beruniy will share his journalism experience in Texas. I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. Please feel free to ask your questions under this video, and we will get them answered after the presentation. All right, Dr. Beruniy, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Dania, once again. Dear friends, so I'm going to share my own experience.
Let's share your presentation. I think it's just disappeared from the screen.
Okay. Hold on a second, please. Just a second.
Reminding to everyone, we are having a media expert in journalism today, so please feel free to leave your comments and ask your questions. We will get them answered at the end of the presentation.
Second. Just a second. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
No,
Not
you
yet.
need to click share 2 times.
Okay, now I think it works now.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I'm really sorry for technical, yes.
It happens. So
yes.
You need to open your presentation now.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
It's on the screen.
Great. Okay. Hello once again, dear friends, dear colleagues. So today, taking this opportunity, I'm going to talk about my own experience, fabulous experience, journalism experience, I mean, in Texas, USA. So it was wonderful opportunity to be part of the Central Asian Journalists in Residence program, fall 2019. It was kind of internship program, and it was organized by the U.S. Embassy in Tashkent and State Department, Meridian International Office. So it was unique opportunity for me as a journalist to have a closer look at the U.S. journalism in Texas. So from October 9 until November 9, 2019, I visited 4 cities in Texas, including Austin, San Antonio, San Marcos, and Corpus Christi. So these are 4 cities which I visited in Texas. So as a journalist, for me, it was very interesting to be part of the journalism family in a small city called San Antonio in Texas. So the editorial office was very small compared, of course, with the other offices, editorial offices. Only 17 people are working there, but speaking openly, frankly, it was a unique experience, not only for me, even for American journalists who do not know about nonprofit journalism, because the Reward Report news source, it was kind of new type of journalism, not only for USA or even for Uzbekistan, because we do not have still non-profit journalism here in Uzbekistan. So this Reward Report website, they don't have any paywall, so everything is free of charge. You can enter the site and you can use any news, you can read them for free. So that's why it's called non-profit and non-partisan journalists. You know what's the reason? The reason is, as you may know, the big companies like Coca-Cola or other companies, Microsoft or other big companies, American companies, or companies in Uzbekistan even, they don't want to cooperate with media. I mean, they don't want to give them a sponsorship as before they did it very easily. But nowadays, the companies are cooperating, or they are giving their sponsorship or their advertisement to the searching company, Google company, like a Google or Yandex or other companies, because people, I mean, ordinary people do not read, for example, newspapers actively as before. So that's why the big companies now sponsoring, how to say, Google or Yandex sites rather than traditional mass media. That's why it's very important to have how to say, non-profit journalism. So let me just, on this screen, you can see the website of the Reward Report. By the way, the name of how the name Reward Report came, where it came from, you may ask. Actually, Mr. Reward, the founder of this site, was a newspaper journalist for many years. He was based mainly in San Antonio, but he was working for the local newspaper, and he visited many cities in the US. Also, he visited, of course, Mexico and other parts of the North America. So he had this idea to open the his how to say news portal on the basis of his own blog. So he had a web blog. It was also called Reward. At the end, this his personal blog became a news source for the city of San Antonio. And nowadays, this news source called not Reward Report, but San Antonio Report. So he took away. I mean, he take away his name from the name of this portal. So on the right side of the screen, you can see the Slack. What is the Slack? It is for the internal communication for journalists. You know, in Uzbekistan, the most editorial offices like Kunuz or other offices, Darya Uz, they use Telegram for internal communication. But in the US, in Texas, they use Slack, which is very easy. So they talk there, they edit their materials, they share with photo, they discuss the other materials. So what was the convenient for us as a journalist from Uzbekistan to be part of this editorial office in San Antonio? At the very beginning, they included us to their internal communication channel. Even you can see my name on the list of journalists of San Antonio Report. So it was a very, how to say, privilege for us to be part of the editorial office of San Antonio Report with Anastasia from also from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. So you can on this slide you can see my little, as I say, corner in the paradise called the Reward Report, which is more like a family rather than an editorial office. You can see it's a very small number of how to say journalists. You can see here our photographer. He's back, and on the right side you can see Anastasia, who was also from Tashkent, and other American and local journalists were working together. So it was quite good and interesting experience for me. So what I like this in this editorial office, as you can see from these pictures, Bihar's eyes. So they have a kind of rubric, as we say, a rubric, right? Each of journalists throws a dart at the map of Bihar County to find a story where the dart lands. For example, if you just take the dart and you can through this dart on the map of Bihar County, and where it lands, you should go there and make a report. You know, it was very interesting experience when I dropped the dart. It landed on the bridge. It was very old bridge, so I made a little report about the old bridge in the Bihar eyes. You know, it was very interesting experience. So next slide. As you can see, while I was in San Antonio, I have opportunity to visit many interesting places in San Antonio together with the journalists of Reward Report. For example, on the left side, you can see Morgan's Wonderland for disabled children. So you know, actually, they have a same problem in this small city of San Antonio, like we do have, for example, in Tashkent, because a lot of investors also there, they want to build how to say high buildings, and they often they don't think about local people's life, about the how to say nature, so about the purity of drinking water and etc. So when the company called Morgan, they wanted to build how to say block of flats in that part of San Antonio. Local people, they said no, they said there is no need to build this block of flats in that place, because the city gets fresh water from this part of the city. So of course Morgan company listened to the people's voice, and then they decided not to build a big building there. Instead of that building, block of building flats, they decided to build a wonderland for disabled children, where disabled children, local children, can go for training classes, or they can get some medical treatment. So they changed, So the public opinion for me as an Uzbek journalist, I saw from my own eyes, with my own eyes, how the public opinion can change the investors, decision. So it was quite interesting experience for me. On the right side, you can see our visit to the San Antonio City Council. At that day, what is City Council? It's a kind of local parliament, right? So local parliament in San Antonio, they discussed first. They discussed the climate plan for 2050, which includes a lot of interesting things. From that period, they banned to use coal. You know what is coal? Of course, They stopped using coal in order to to have more fresh air and to stop the climate change on this part of the world. So the City Council of San Antonio invited local people, also journalists, and I was a journalist as a part of American journalism team. I was there, so it was also quite interesting to see how the local people engaged in achieving this kind of plans, or discussing this kind of important issues regarding their own city. So it was also very quite interesting experience for me. So Kajir, the Central Asian Journalist in Residence, is just perfect opportunity for learning and growing. As Mark Zuckerberg says, meeting new people and hearing from a wide range of viewpoints are part of the learning. So for me, also this program was gave me a same opportunity. So what I did, I met new people and I heard from them really wide range of viewpoints, and it was the great part of my learning from American journalism. So it was really good experience. So except the journalism part of my trip to Texas, I had a very unique opportunity visiting many journalism schools in Texas. For example, I was at the Texas University at the in Austin. So it's called the UT Austin, and the second one was Texas University at San Marcos. It is another city, and the main city where I spent almost months of time, it was University of Texas, San Antonio. So this university has different branches in Texas, where all part of the Texas, they have journalism schools inside the that university. So they call it communication departments. So and in Uzbekistan, as you may hear, we call them journalism faculties, journalism departments. So in America, Texas, the Texas University, they call these departments as a communication department. So it was really quite good experience. So Also, I had a chance to exchange views with distinguished mentors about modern journalism and education in journalism sphere in the United States. So you can see two great American professors in these photos. So actually, on the left side, you can see Professor Zhang Juan. Originally, he's from China, but now working for University of Texas as a professor. And our topic, I mean, the topic of our dissertation, scientific dissertation, are very close. So he was learning the problem of Chinese media image in the United States mass media. So my topic is the problem of Uzbekistan's image in the world media. So our topics are very close. So I was very happy to meet this professor at the university and exchange our views on the country media image. So it was great opportunity. While working on my postdoctoral dissertation, I asked people this question while I was in Texas: how can modern media shape a country's image? Of course, journalists in America, it's very interesting. They may say, "No, it's not our job. We don't make an image of the city or country." But at the end, of course, they influence influence the image, because even in the sample of reward report, I can say they have a rubric, small rubric. It's called My Neighborhood. So people living in San Antonio, they write an article talking about their neighborhood, and they publish their article on the reward report news site. And then I heard one woman decided to move to San Antonio after reading these articles. So you see, the journalism, of course, journalism can make difference while people are searching new places to live or to study or etc. So that at the end, we can say that journalism or media has a main role to make in formation, in the process of formation, regional image, including San Antonio. So it was great opportunity for me. So I asked this question, many people, about 10 people, including professors in the Texas University, editors, of course, and local journalists. So I asked them same question, as I told you. I asked them question: how can modern media shape the country's image? So I received very interesting answers from American colleagues. So I was very happy. So here you can see two photos when we were talking with next generation journalists. I mean, journalism students, at the journalism department or communication department at San Antonio. So the interesting thing is, while I was talking to them about Uzbek journalism, about law or other aspects of Uzbek journalism, they also talked me about their own experience. They talked about American journalism, or some students were from foreign countries, from Ukraine, from South America and other parts of the world. So it was a really great opportunity to exchange views with young journalists. So it was very interesting moment during my stay in Texas. So at the end, what I did, of course I recorded my first online lecture for Uzbek journalists, for my for my students, I might say. I talked about the role of non-profit media in enhancing regional image on the example of Reward Report in San Antonio, Texas. So many Uzbek students, journalism students, watch this online lecture on YouTube, and I was very happy to share my own experience with young journalists in Tashkent. So also my students at the Journalism and Mass Communication University of Uzbekistan, they watched my online lectures while I was in Texas. They were here in Tashkent, and they watched these lectures online. So it was very good opportunity at that time. So the time reached, as you can see, 667 minutes of viewing time per month because of these interesting, I hope, lectures. So other lecture, what I recorded from the San Antonio, it was called America, Americans, and Journalism. So as I understand, a lot of people in Uzbekistan or other parts of the world were interested on this lecture. So I was very privileged, to reach this kind of number of people who visited my YouTube channel. And then I also wrote an article for my own blog, which is called berunyialimov.uz. I wrote a new article, let's say travel essay about Texas. It's called Texas After 24 Years, because I was there in Texas exactly 24 years ago. And of course, the city and the state of Texas changed a lot. And I put my own experience or my own views on this article. So I hope it was also interesting for my students and other readers. And also I have wrote another article about American journalists who is living and working in America. Actually, this article was about Maria. She was a TV presenter for 2 years in Tashkent. You see, on Uzbek television, we had an American presenter for the news program called First Channel News. It was in 1995, 1996. So it was great opportunity for us to begin these new projects with American journalists. So I met her again after many years. I met her again in Texas, and I wrote another article, and I published that piece on Uzbek writers newspaper called Kitap Dünyası, World of Books, after my visit of United States. And what we did, of course, you may ask what I did after working hours in San Antonio. So you can see what I did after work. As you can see, we watched baseball with local journalists. We had some drinks, and of course, very friendly people in Texas, especially journalists, are very friendly. And by the way, many people in Texas or in San Antonio, let's say, they have a dog. Their dogs are so lovely. They're so active. And they are also very openly. They are not aggressive. They are very friendly. I love dogs in San Antonio. I can say. On the right side, you can see editor-in-chief of Reward Report. So this gentleman is the author or founder of this news site called Reward Report. So with him, we visited a museum of art in San Antonio. So he's publisher, former newspaper editor, columnist, and author. So he was very gentle and he was very kind. In Uzbekistan, if some journalists can go with somewhere with his editorial chief editor in chief, it is it's how to say, it is fantastic. It will be very good, but in San Antonio, my experience showed that editor in chiefs also might be very, how to say, simple men, and they can be very, how to say, friendly, open, and they can spend some free time with you, with young journalists or foreign journalists. So it was very good, to spend some social activities together with editor in chief. So he was very kind man, actually. So also, I must say that we attended some cultural activities while we were staying in Texas. So on the left side, you can see the picture of the festival. It's called Day of the Dead in San Antonio. It's a kind of, it's a memory day. It's a dedicated to dead people. So, every family has their ancestors who passed away, right? So this is the holiday. It's when the local people remember their ancestors. So it's very interesting, and it's very old and traditional holidays. So it was very, how to say, unique experience for me as a journalist, to be part of this kind of activities. We went there and we took some pictures and we talked to local people. So it was very interesting. Also, we had a chance, thanks to our professor, mentor, Zhang Zhuyan. We visited Corpus Christi. It's a small town at the Gulf of Mexico. The nature is absolutely beautiful. The air is so fresh, and everywhere is so clean. So we went there for just one day, but I must say it's just like a paradise. So we enjoyed our long day in Corpus Christi in Texas. So it was also very good experience. This this photo of mine from the Corpus Christi seashore, seashore, went viral on social media in Uzbekistan. It was I sent this picture. I put this picture on my Facebook page, but my friends or colleagues in Uzbekistan, they how to say, photoshopped it, and they put it a lot of funny things like this. So it was really interesting, and it was very funny to see this kind of photo, from Texas. So at the end, of course, we had a big event just to close the program, because we were the pioneers of this program. At the first group from Central Asia, about 10 journalists, we visited Texas, and it was greatest opportunity for everyone. So at the end, I had a, how to say, an idea, and I informed my colleagues from Central Asia to create Journalists Union of Central Asia, JUCA. So which would help us to make our journalism more reliable, more free, and more stronger. So, the journalism in Uzbekistan, in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, or Turkmenistan are becoming more open and more developed than before. So we have to work on that. Also, at the same time, we have to cooperate with each other. I mean, with neighboring journalists. So it was quite interesting moment to go with these people, Central Asian journalists, to United States and I gave them this idea to create a journalists union of Central Asia. So I think they like maybe someday in the future we can create such a regional journalists union in Central Asia. I hope so. So of course it's a joke. The slogan of former United States President Donald Trump was MAGA. I think you heard about this slogan. MAGA means let's make America great again. So like just the former president of the United States, I said MCA-GA. That means let's make Central Asia great again. So it was my slogan at the end of this training. So taking this opportunity, dear friends, I would like to thank U.S. Department of State, U.S. Embassy in Tashkent, Meridian International Center, Texas International Education Consortium, and other organizers behind the scene. And of course, I would like to thank Reward Report team and Mr. Robert Reward, and also our mentors and professors, Zhang Juyan and Professor Seo Kang, for their support and kindness. So thank you very much for this opportunity. So when I came back to Tashkent, I am almost to cry when I read this kind of letters from foreign colleagues. What he said, what Mr. Reward wrote on Facebook. I said, Robert Reward is the best editor in America, wearing doppe, traditional hat of Uzbek nobleman. So he said, Beruniy Alimov, we miss you and welcome back anytime. And he continues like that. I keep my doppe close at hand on my office shelf, ready for use whenever friends from Uzbekistan come calling. So such a nice feeling, that means American journalists and Uzbek journalists have a very good relationship, good friendship and cooperation. So it's very warm to feel that, that friendship, we are all humans at the end, we are American or Uzbek, we are all humans. So we have to respect this kind of relationship. Thank you very much, dear friends, and thank you very much for Danya for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beruniy. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful experience with us. We have a question from Gulshan Mahmudova. Here it is. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. What was the most remarkable moment for you during the program?
Thank you for Gulshan for interesting question. Actually, every day was remarkable because it was my dream, to go to America and to have to feel the atmosphere inside the editorial office in the United States, in American journalism, from the morning with your cup of coffee, to talk and discuss today's issue, what the main topics for today, and what's the important, what is interesting for our friends, So for me, everything was remarkable. Every moment of my visit was remarkable, I must say. So this is my answer.
Thank you so much. Next question from Shahlo Khalmatova. Hi, thank you for sharing your experience. Can you please clarify in which area in Uzbekistan should improve journalism?
Okay, that's Shahla, very good question. I think we have to develop independent journalism in Uzbekistan, because independent media can be very helpful to make our journalism even more open, and through that we can make this society even more democratic. You know, in Uzbekistan now we are building democratic society, don't we? So through independent media we can do more things. We can how to say, help this society with the true journalism, with the open journalism, with the free speech, and etc. And also, I would like to say to Shahla that we should also think about having non-profit journalism in Uzbekistan, because we don't have it yet. By the way, non-profit journalism, as I told during my lecture, it's for United States. Also, it's a new kind of journalism, non-profit. When I told to my professor at the university that I am working for the non-profit journalism site in San Antonio, they say, "Oh, what is this? What is non-profit journalism?" You know, even that means even for United States, it's a kind of new thing. So we have this. We have to bring that new formats. We have to bring new life from journalism experience, because of course we are not stronger financially, but still we have to think about how to keep journalism on high level. I mean, efficiency, or the quality of journalism. You know, as I told you, business is not supporting us anymore, not only in Uzbekistan, but also in the world. In that case, what we can do? Of course, we can use the new format, which is called non-profit journalism. So these kind of things, of course, I can talk an hour about what we can do about to improve Uzbekistan journalism. So I think it's better to be a little bit shorter. Thank you once again for your super question, Shahbal.
Thank you. Can you tell us, please, Dr. Beruniy, what is your biggest takeaway from the exchange experience, from the exchange program? Are you practicing new skills and knowledge in journalism area today? What changes did it make?
That's a good point, Tanya. I must say that, yes, it is the very good question. What I learned from US journalism, it's to be more open, to don't get afraid what you are writing about. You have to be stronger what you are telling. And on the university side, I mean the journalism side, or education, also must be very close with practic aspect. I mean, journalism professors in Texas, they most of them, they are former journalists. You know, even the dean of the communication department at the Texas University, she was a TV journalist before herself. You know, that means the practice and theory of journalism are together. So that's why I'm telling my colleagues at the university, we have to be also close to the real life, real journalism in Tashkent, not just talking about the theory of journalism. So we have to improve our journalism through uniting this experience and also theoretical aspects of journalism. So this is the main aspect, what I took from my visit to San Antonio.
Thank you so much. We have a comment from Alex Abdugafarov. He says, thank you for your time and effort giving this presentation, Beruniy.
Thank you, Alice.
Shahla also thanks you for your answer.
Thank you, Shahla.
I want to join them and thank you for coming and talking about your journalism experience in the United States. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure to have you here. And that was a last question. It's time to wrap up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me once again. And it was great opportunity to talk, to talk our friends via social media, on Facebook, on YouTube Live. It was also, I was a little bit nervous at the beginning. I'm sorry for my poor English, maybe. So I tried my best. Thank you very much.
No, it's been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Remarkable.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
See you all on our next USG Alumni Talks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.